The 2022-2023 Wayne Hills boys fencing team has had quite an eventful season. Let's hear from the fencers themselves to learn more about the sport.
So basically, for the fencing uniform, we have something we dress when we come to meet, which is just like a flannel, something with Wayne Hills, always. And then we also have something we wear when we're actually fencing, since it is like a sport with blades. It is protective. There's a layer underneath called the plastron. It goes on whatever your dominant side is, and then on top of that, there's also a jacket, and you also have to wear knickers, which are like pants. That protect you, and very long socks, so just in case. So that depends on each blade. So the blade I do, which is epee, it's basically there's a button at the end of the blade, and if it hits you, if it hits the opponent, then that counts as a touch, so that's like a 1 point. And then if two hit at the same time, both of them get a point each. And in high school, we play till 5. For other blades, it's a little different. There's something called right of way, which is a way to determine whose attack is, basically whose attack would be the most powerful or impactful, and only they get the touch.
So we have around, I'd probably say maybe 27, 26, and there's about 9 per blade. Epee, there's a little more. There's 12, and then the other weapons have 8 or 6, 7, yeah.
Do some stretches and then some footwork, which is because for fencing, the way you move forward and move back, it's called advancing and retreating, is different. So we have to practice that in order to get the technique down. And after that, we started just fence. We just practiced fencing.
So our coach is called Coach Maxwell. That's his name, and he pretty much he was, I think, maybe even an Olympian. He was a really good fencer back in the day. I think top 10 in the country at one point. Now he's a little older, so he doesn't fully demonstrate stuff for us, but he still is a really good coach. He played saber, so strength is with saber, so a lot of his attention goes to the saber, and that's why I think partly why our saber team is really good.
In December of 2022, each athlete attended tryouts to determine the members of the team. Now, ever since the school year began, they have been practicing nearly every day after school to perfect and improve their skills.
Our team's record is, I think, 11-2. During the actual season, not counting states, I think it was 9-1. We lost once against Ramapo, but then when we went to states, we fenced Ridge during the semis, and that's where we kind of stopped our states there, but stop.
The biggest challenge was definitely Ridge, because in states, so it was the semifinals, and Ridge, they're the number 1 team, and yeah, we basically got our butts kicked by them. So yeah, we won a few bouts, but it was still a good experience, because all the other teams weren't that bad besides Ramapo, but Ridge was the only really difficult team we faced this year, so it was good to get experience like that.
Second harder would probably be Ramapo. We lost to once, and then we won them during the actual states competition.
Throughout the season, the team has had some great memories. From practices to meets and even outside of the sport, the boys built team support for each other through their friendships.
A lot of the people there are really good people, and you can learn a lot from them, especially fencing wise. People more experienced than you, people older than you, and just in general, it's a pretty good atmosphere. So.
All right. Nalby Varukwa, Saber, A-Strip, he went undefeated this season, which it's really good. And then he also made states along with Rafael Enriquez and Saber. Nick Pepley made it in epee, went to states, and then in foil, Nick Zertzko, is that how you say it? Nick Dezerko went to states as well.
My favorite memory from the season would probably be districts, and just the energy around there, and at the end, In the end, we were fencing like Fair Lawn, who were probably the hardest team there, and just like the struggle against fencing them, and like all the energy in the room and everything like that.
I think, okay, we had a tournament. It was called Citrullos, where there were a lot of teams, and we got to fence a lot. It was like 16 bouts per person over like the course of maybe 8 hours. It was really fun, really good experience. Got to fence a lot of really good people, and just overall it was really fun.
What do I think the team could do better? Probably fence better fencers more often, since even like going to like the club more and things like that. Just fence better fencers, since sometimes we only fence each other, or fence fencers who are not. They're still like, it's still good to fence against them, but fencing even better fencers would be even greater practice.
So a thing that the team could probably do better is a little bit more focused during practice, and like working on technique especially, because sometimes you just start fooling around or are just too invested in something and then don't actually like get to practice what probably needs to be practiced. So yeah.
As the 2022-2023 season comes to an end, the team is determined to end it right.